Welcome back. As you know, I am Eli, the computer guy, here for your daily dose of the roars as we talk about things that should just be, yup. What should we say in this situation? Yup. But because of our insane politicians, this is now a moment of national shame. So this is coming from the South China Morning Post. Role reversal. Meta adopts Qwen as Chinese AI becomes industry foundation. The shame for Mark Zuckerberg, right? So basically, the whole idea here is that Meta put out their Llama model a couple of years ago, Llama 3. That was pretty good. A lot of Chinese companies were using Llama 3 as the basis of their AI models. And we were told here in America, this is what proves that the China man is not our equal. They have to use our inventions, our products in order to make something successful. And then time has gone by and they've improved and they've changed and the rest of it. And now basically, Meta is now using the Qwen open source model to improve their systems. At which point we all now have to hang our head in shame because we are, quote unquote, losing the AI war. I would argue this is how this shit is supposed to work. Hey, look, the system is working as designed. I don't understand what anybody has a problem with, but again, it's 2025, so people are going to cry, right? And so that's supposed to be the important thing with open source or near open source is that, you have one person who creates a product, another person piggybacks on the product that got created, that gets built up, and then the first person can then take, all of the improvements that the second person did and then implement them into their own technologies. This is why open source has been successful. This is why Google supports open source and IBM supports open source and everybody fucking supports open source because the idea is they support open source for all of these different products that they use within their infrastructure. Since they're supporting it, other people support it too, and essentially they get free labor. Right? But I don't know. For some reason, when you're dealing with data storage systems or databases, open source is okay. When we start dealing with artificial intelligence, it's an entirely different story for some reason. When U.S. tech giant Meta Platforms released its flagship Llama family of artificial intelligence models in February of 2023, do you realize that's almost 2 years ago now? They were open sourced, a move that signaled it out among global AI model developers at the time. They were not open sourced. Can we just stop saying that they're open sourced? Read the fucking license. They're not actually open source. You can use them for damn near anything as long as you have under 750 million monthly users or something. That's not open source. That is a permissive licensing scheme that is not open source. But anyways, that September, one of the many derivatives of Llama was announced, Alibaba Cloud's Qwen. The first generation of Qwen adopted Llama's training process and cited Meta's seminal research findings in its accompanying technical report. Out of deference, the Chinese researchers even called Llama, quote, the top open source large language model. 2 years later, the tables have seemingly turned. According to a Bloomberg report on Wednesday, it was now Meta that is reportedly taking its cues from Alibaba, with unnamed sources claiming that the Facebook owner has now using Qwen to help train a new model codenamed Avocado. Which, basically that's how it should work. That's exactly how it should work. The development caps a remarkable reversal in fortunes for the two leading U.S. And Chinese open source flag bearers. Up until very recently, Llama was the default model of choice for developers building an open source AI software, including in China. I don't know if it's the default model of choice, but yeah, things go back and forth. The other thing to remember about this too, not dismissing Chinese improvements, but do remember Llama 4 apparently was a bit of a fucking disaster. It's curious, whenever anybody talks about Llama, they're kind of talking about Llama 3. Nobody really talks about Llama 4 anymore. And that's one of the arguments with open source too. The idea is that different people are taking different paths. And sometimes paths fail. They just fail, right? You think it's a good idea. You have 3 paths you can go down. You make your call on which path you're going to go down. And sometimes that path leads to a dead end. Well, here's the thing. If you go down one path and another person goes down another path and the other person goes down another path, somebody might actually figure out how to solve the problem. And then again, like I say, with the open source community, then you can glom on to that particular win for whoever solved the problem and keep the whole process going. That's just normal. The Chinese industry's reliance on Llama at the time was highlighted by experts, including Jeffrey Ding, an assistant professor at George Washington University, as evidence of China lagging the U.S. in AI. Which maybe at that time they were lagging the U.S. in AI, but, you know, there's 1.4 billion of them. I think they can keep up. Or catch up. Even Chinese industry insiders themselves warned that China's AI efforts were hindered by its reliance on Meta's models. While Alibaba had similarly been open sourcing its Qwen model since 2023, it always trailed Llama on key performance benchmarks. It took until January this year when DeepSeek pushed Chinese AI to the forefront that global adoption of both DeepSeek and Qwen's open source models exploded. Chinese-made models made up 17% of the total open source model downloads in the past year. The data showed compared to 15.8% for US-made models, Qwen and DeepSeek alone captured 14% of downloads. Meanwhile, third-party benchmark data shows that Alibaba has continuously improved the strength of its models over the past year, while staying true to the commitment made in November last year by the CEO to continue open sourcing its models. I think this is an interesting thing between the Chinese way of doing things and the American way of doing things. We really go proprietary. The new Avocado model, as far as we understand, where they come up with these names, God knows. But anyways, Meta. So Meta had the Llama model. The Llama model had very permissive licensing. That was not open source. Anyways, the new Avocado model that is coming out, apparently they're actually taking that proprietary. They are not going to be releasing the model to the world. And so it's going to be curious to see here this division. So you had Llama that was able to help breed the Chinese models. The Chinese models are now becoming superior to Llama. And this is the point that Meta takes their stuff behind their walls, but the Chinese models remain open. Meta was now looking set to abandon its open source strategy, with Bloomberg reporting that the Avocado model could be released as a closed model, despite CEO Mark Zuckerberg claiming in July last year that his company would continue the open source path. So basically, I just kind of think this is an interesting thing. Again, the back and forth and open source. And what happens with the back and forth and open source when you get the politicians and you get the bureaucrats losing their damn minds, right? I talked about this before with the Biden administration, right? Under the Biden administration, under their export controls, right? The AI diffusion rules. There was literally a point in time they were trying to figure out how to block open source AI models. Not GPUs, not this other stuff. Like, yes. Inquiring minds would like to know, how did an 80-year-old dead president figure out how to be able to block FTP on a global scale of very specific files, right? But we get this weirdness, we get this insanity, and it's going to be interesting to see how the technology companies, balance all of the different things going on, all the different issues, right? You see Jensen Huang out there, and he's trying to be nice to Xi, and he's trying to be nice to Trump, and he's trying to kiss Starmer's ass or whatever else. But they all, like Xi has priorities, and Trump, I don't know. Trump has daydreams, and what are the fuck Starmer's doing? Anyways, right? And that's one of the interesting things. Like, watching Jensen Huang try to balance all of these competing nation-state interests as he runs one of the most important, currently, global corporations that are out there, right? When we start seeing, again, this stuff with the open source community, it'll be curious to see how this works out, right? Again, under the Biden administration, right? When I talk about this idiocy of China policy, this isn't just simply Trump. This has been policy that's been going back for years, right? Under the Biden administration, there was literally talk of, if Americans help support Chinese artificial intelligence initiatives, they would be breaking the law. They would be committing felonies. But think about this. So if you're working on an open source project that China uses to do something that could literally be a felony, this is the insanity that we're currently dealing with. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this works out. I would say in normal times, if it wasn't 2025, this is absolutely a nothing burger. Meta creates something, permissive licenses it. Chinese folks take it, they build on it. Meta then takes what they built to create something better. That is literally how the fucking process is supposed to work. But anyways, it is 2025. So all I've got to say is rawr, rawr. Anyway, so what do you think about this? Put your thoughts down below. Do remember I do these videos in order to pay for Silicon Dojo, authorityless, gatekeeperless, free to the end user, hands-on technology education that empowers you to do whatever the hell it is you want to do. In Durham, North Carolina, coming to Asheville, North Carolina again pretty soon. We have a class coming up on AI computer vision using the Moondream model. We have a class coming up on pushing AI to the edge with Raspberry Pis. We have many more classes coming up, so take a look at silicondojo.com to see what our current schedule is. If you want to help support Silicon Dojo, there's a donor box link down below, and boom, look at that. I got 4 videos. I got 4 videos done in less than 50 minutes. That is the efficiency that a timer gives you. So yeah, as I've been talking about, Silicon Dojo is actually truly taking up more and more of my time, especially if we can start doing the classes here in Asheville. So I have less time to scream about very stupid things now for the YouTube channel. So anyways, I have my little timer here. What I'm going to do is I'm giving myself an hour. I'm giving myself an hour every day to scream into the camera. I can scream into the camera about the articles I want to scream into, and then I stop it. And then I put it all through the encoder, and the idea, I literally don't want to spend any more than an hour and a half a day. An hour and a half a day on these videos is like, that's it. And I'd like it to be even shorter than that. So anyways, that's what the timer is about. With that, I have to go and print out 25 class booklets, workbooks for the class we're doing tomorrow. See y'all later.